Luke 10:2. The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore pray earnestly to the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest. As stated in multiple translations of the Bible, this verse emphasizes the abundance of opportunities for ministry while also highlighting the shortage of workers to spread the gospel. It calls for believers to pray for more laborers to be sent out into the world to share the message of God's kingdom. In this verse, Jesus is speaking to his disciples, who are about to be sent out to preach the gospel. The harvest refers to the receptive hearts of people who are ready to hear and believe the message of salvation. The laborers are those who are called to spread this message, and Jesus is encouraging his followers to pray for more people to join them in this work. Is a reminder that the task of evangelism is vast, and that the church needs more workers to effectively reach all those who are ready to receive the message. It also the importance of prayer in the work of ministry, as it is through prayer that God sends out laborers into the harvest. Have you ever felt overwhelmed, like there's just too much to handle? I know I have. Today, let's talk about something that resonates deeply with many of us, especially during these challenging times. You know, there's this powerful verse in Luke chapter 10, verse 2, where Jesus says, "The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few." Now, let me tell you why this speaks volumes to our modern lives. Think about it. We're living in a world that's more connected than ever. Yet people are feeling more isolated and overwhelmed than before. It's like standing in a field of endless opportunities and responsibilities, but feeling like we're trying to harvest it all alone. I remember talking to a friend who was juggling a demanding job, family responsibilities, and community commitments. She felt like she was drowning in responsibilities. How am I supposed to do all this? She asked me, her voice heavy with exhaustion. But here's the beautiful thing about faith. It reminds us that we're not meant to do it all alone. When Jesus spoke about the laborers being few, he wasn't just talking about physical work. He was speaking about a deeper truth, the importance of coming together, supporting one another, and sharing our burdens. In our fast-paced world, we often try to be superheroes, handling everything by ourselves. But that's not how it's supposed to be. Whether it's in our communities or churches, or our families, we're called to work together, to support each other through the tough times. When we understand this, something remarkable happens. Those overwhelming tasks become manageable. Those lonely moments find comfort in community. Those heavy burdens become lighter when shared. So next time you're feeling overwhelmed, remember this. You're not meant to harvest alone. Reach out, connect, and don't be afraid to ask for help. After all, faith isn't just about believing. It's about belonging to a community that supports each other through every season of life. When Jesus says that the harvest is abundant but the laborers are few, do you think he was only talking about his time here on earth? Or was he talking about now as well? If statistics are correct, most people who identify themselves as Christian do not attend church on a regular basis. Where are the others? Where are the laborers who should be gathering the harvest? We need to pray for men and women to answer the call to minister to God's people, but we also need to pray for ourselves to reach out to those who don't understand the value of what we have. Do you talk about the importance of your faith in God with others in your family, your circle of friends? I know that I was told as a child that the two things you don't talk about are religion and politics. But why? Perhaps when people were refused jobs or housing on the basis of their religious beliefs, it was necessary. But today, if you are in the market for a car or a computer, who would you talk to? If you only talk to professionals, you might think you're just getting a sales pitch, so you ask your friends or relatives what they own and whether or not they would recommend it. I'm not dismissing the value of those of us who are professionals in the faith department, but I am suggesting that each of us as friend and relative has more influence than we think. We understand how our faith gets us through the tough times, how we welcome the support of our community in times of joy as well as sorrow. We understand the value of faith in our lives. What makes us so afraid to talk about it? At this particular time in our churches and in our world, the need for laborers is great indeed. Will you go out into the fields? Together, we can face any challenge, overcome any obstacle, and find strength in unity. Because when we join hands and hearts, we become the laborers that make the harvest possible.